Hello, subscribers. It's been a while since I've given an update on YouTube for my game Fortaeverse, so I wanted to go ahead and do that. I have a Discord channel where I post more regular updates on there, but I know some people don't use Discord, so I'll go ahead and post information here as well. So I've been working on the website. I've been tying in some of the game engine behind the scenes to dynamically update some of the website so that people that are interested in the game can start getting more information on it, because this is a very complex game that I'm currently working on. So if you haven't been to fortaeverse.com, that's the website that has all kinds of information about races, vocations. I've added two new sections. I've added spells and then items. So here you can see we have a spell list. If we click on it, it will show a giant list of all the spells in the game that I currently have. And like I said, this will be dynamically updated as I work on the game and add new spells or modify spells. I have also recently made a new attribute of spells called the Dimensional Realm. And right now there's only 4 dimensions: fire, earth, water, and air, just like the elements you see in typical games. So the purpose of that was to allow casters to be more focused on various realms. Essentially, what it is it's a discount skill for your mana. So let's say, for example, you have 50% water skill, then that will give you a 25% discount on any spell you cast mana wise. So, if it was 16 mana to cast this and you have 50 water skill, then 25% of 16, roughly 3 or 4 mana per power level. So as you cast higher power level, you could potentially get more of a discount because of the way rounding works with lower level spells, like a 6 mana spell, for example. Anyway, on the website, you can see information. For example, if we just look at this Anguish spell, this is in the magic realm of voodoo. So shaman get the voodoo skill. We can see the cost, we can see the dimension. We can see it has 2 magical effects when it's cast. Yeah, the target is a life form, a single life form, goes 80 feet, and it does 12 to 15 mental damage, and it also does stamina damage. So you can just peruse this list and see all kinds of information about all the spells. As you can see, as I scroll down here, there are hundreds of spells in the game. Most of these are functional, in the arena that a few people had done pre-beta testing for me. I don't think anybody really got much level increase to even try a lot of these, but they're there, and I've tested out some of them as well. So that's the spell list. We also have all the items that we can see. So I have over 1 million dynamically generated items, but all I'm putting on this list are, I'm going to call them non-magical normal items. But you'll be able to compare and see what kind of effects the weapon has. For example, here's a bardic. Bronze, if it's made out of bronze, you can see it's worth this, and it weighs this compared to steel. So it actually weighs more than the steel, and it's worth less than the steel. The structure points are less. All this is dynamically generated based on formulas I have in the game engine. So certain materials have influence on structure points, hardness of the weapon, and I've talked about this before. Bronze is only a hardness of 45. So if you're hitting someone that's wearing steel armor, which is a hardness of 130, this is actually going to be less effective, and it'll take more damage to its structure points. So not only does it have less structure points, but it'll actually, the feedback for damage from hitting something harder will cause it to lose structure points even sooner, even quicker. There are some, I'm going to call them kind of glass cannon type weapons. For example, here's a bardic made of tin. It is worth only 19 copper, but look, structure points only 1,000, and hardness of 5. So this thing's basically going to completely crack and be destroyed if you hit something that, like if you hit steel, for example. Now, if you're hitting flesh, then it's a different story. You know, it may last for quite a bit longer. Damage is the same if it's able to penetrate the armor. So it'll do just as much damage as the bronze, but it'll get destroyed very quickly and it'll have a really hard time penetrating armor that has hardness, you know, that's quite a bit higher. So anyway, you can again peruse the list of all these weapons. Incidentally, some of these icons, to give a shout out here, have come from one of my followers or subscribers named Tanner. So thank you, Tanner, for some of these icons. Others I have found on websites. You can go to the list of volunteers on the website to see, because I, of course, always give credit. But a lot of these are from people I don't know that I found on websites. They give permission to use. So you can see a list of their names in there. So we also have the armor list. Again, you can get all kinds of information about all the armor. It shows you where the armor is worn. For example, this is on the head and neck. You can see sometimes some armor are detrimental to attributes, like the Kabuto is detrimental to perception because it kind of maybe interferes with vision or hearing a tiny bit. Also spellcasting. In my game, spellcasters can wear armor, just like knights can. If you want to load a spellcaster up with metal armor, that's perfectly fine. However, it will be penalizing to spellcasting. So you'll have to make the choices on that kind of thing. And then, of course, various types of armor or materials, depending on what they're made of, do not interfere as much with certain spellcasting. For example, if we look at cloth, you can see cloth does not interfere with spellcasting. You can see a cloak here covers all kinds of body locations. Some types of armor are better against different types of attack. Here the cloth you can see is decent against crush damage. Hardly protects you at all from cut damage, but it does pretty well against cold damage and frost and freeze. Even electric, because of it being kind of an insulator. Versus looking at something here that's made out of hardened steel, and you can see this provides a much better protection against the typical cutting, piercing type damage. Can even protect you from acid, bases, chemical, those kinds of things. So that's the armor list. And then we have a food and drink list. Now I can already hear some people groaning about food and drink. Well, I've made it so it's not tedious. You don't have to manually eat or drink. As long as you just have them in the inventory, the game engine will decide for you what to eat or drink, mainly based on the spoil time. So certain foods and drinks will spoil more rapidly. You can see here that, let's find something that's spoils quickly. Peaches last quite a long time. Their spoil is 4. Let's see. Raw eggs, 0.1. Tomatoes, 8. Ale lasts a long time, 40 before it spoils. But anyway, the whole purpose of this is to have various improvements with your regeneration ability if you're resting and you're not casting spells and things of that nature. With stamina regeneration, you can see various types of foods have higher or lower energy values for your stamina. There's hydration values, you know, based on the type of food. Some things have like no hydration. Let me see if I can find something. For example, lemons. If you were to eat those, they provide hardly any hydration, but they give a decent amount of energy. Then there's also a nutritional value, which doesn't look like I have on the website right now. But nutritional value helps prevent disease and things of that nature. And accelerates your healing ability. So like I said, food, you can pretty much just buy some batches of them, keep in your inventory, and the game engine will automatically eat or drink them for you. You will not die if you don't eat or drink. I'm not going to make that happen, but it can be detrimental for stamina regeneration, health regeneration, things of that nature. So you can check that out on the website. So that's the update I'm going to give for now. There's probably more that I haven't mentioned on the YouTube channel that I've mentioned on Discord, but it's been too long to know what those are. So hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for being subscribers, and I'll see you next time.